everyone. I'm here at the Bible reading. I hope you're having a good day. Today we're going to be reading John chapter 6, verses 1 through 21.
Sherm's an idiot.
Psalm 106, verses 13 through 31. And Proverbs 14, verses 32 and 33.
Sherm's an idiot.
What's saying that?
It's truth.
You just do the stuff I ask.
I do. I cleaned up over there.
I do everything for you.
I know you do, honey. But I cleaned up over there like you asked me
You
to.
couldn't even put a paint patch on me. How sad is that? I'm hurting and you can't even put a paint patch on me. No, I don't want to be bothered.
Do you want one or not?
Oh, I'm just going to continue the video.
Do you want one?
So let's see what we're talking about in John today. We'll be talking about Jesus feeds 5,000 and Jesus walks on the water. Okay. Sometime after this, Jesus crossed to the far shore of the Sea of Galilee, that is the Sea of Tiberias, and a great crowd of people followed him, because they saw the signs he had performed by healing the sick. Then Jesus went up on a mountainside and sat down with his disciples. The Jewish Passover festival was near. When Jesus looked up and saw a great crowd coming toward him, he said to Philip, "Where shall we buy bread for these people to eat?" He asked this only to test them, for he already had in mind what he was going to do. Philip answered him, "It would take more than half a year's wages to buy enough bread for each one to have a bite." Another of the disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up. "Here is a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish, but how far would they go among so many?" Jesus said, "Have the people sit down." There was plenty of grass in that place, and they sat down. About 5,000 men were there, not including women and children. Jesus then took the loaves, gave thanks, and distributed to those who were seated as much as they wanted. He did the same with the fish. When they had all had enough to eat, he said to his disciples, "Gather the pieces that are left over. Let nothing be wasted." So they gathered them and filled 12 baskets with the pieces of 5 barley loaves left over by those who had eaten. After the people saw the sign Jesus performed, they began to say, "Surely this is the prophet who is to come into the world." Jesus, knowing that they intended to come and make him king by force, withdrew again to a mountain by himself. When evening came, his disciples went down to the lake, where they got into a boat and set off across the lake of Capernaum. By now it was dark, and Jesus had not yet joined them. A strong wind was blowing, and the waters grew rough. When they had rowed about 3 or 4 miles, they saw Jesus approaching the boat, walking on the water, and they were frightened. But he said to them, "It is I. Don't be afraid." Then they were willing to take him into the boat, and immediately the boat reached the shore where they were heading. And that's where we're stopping with John today. Now we're continuing on with Psalm 106 from yesterday, verses 13 through 31. But they soon forgot what he had done and did not wait for his plan to unfold. In the desert they gave in to their craving. In the wilderness they put God to the test. So he gave them what they asked for, but sent a wasting disease among them. In the camp they grew envious of Moses and of Aaron, who was consecrated to the Lord. The earth opened up and swallowed Dathan. It buried the company of Abram. Fire blazed among their followers, and a flame consumed the wicked. At Herod they made a calf, baby cow, and worshipped an idol cast from metal. They exchanged their glorious God for an image of a bull which eats grass, cannot speak, cannot hear, cannot see. And all that God did for them to free them, with all those plagues, and He was with them in the desert all the way, they turned their back on God. They forgot the God who saved them, who had done great things in Egypt, miracles in the land of Ham, and awesome deeds by the Red Sea that He parted so they could go through, and then washed away their enemies by putting it back together. So He said He would destroy them, had not Moses, His chosen one, stood in to breach before Him, to keep His wrath from destroying them. Then they despised the pleasant land. They did not believe His promise. They grumbled in their tents and did not obey the Lord. It don't matter where they go. If they go to a tent far away in the woods or to a cave and they think nobody can hear them, God still hears them and sees them. You can't go nowhere that God cannot see and find you. So He swore to them with uplifted hand that He would make them fall in the wilderness, make their descendants fall among the nations, and scatter them throughout the land. They yoked themselves to the bow of Peor and ate sacrifices offered to lifeless gods. They aroused the Lord's anger by their wicked deeds, and a plague broke out among them. But Phinehas stood up and intervened, and the plague was checked. Stopped. This was credited to him as righteousness for endless generations to come. And that's where we're stopping with Psalm 106. You want me to start this over? After what happened? Why? I don't want everybody hearing that. Why? What are you doing?
Trying to find the weather number.
774. Dial 740 2151. I told you what it was going to be though. I think it's supposed to be like in the 40s tonight, so.
Just trying to make a call. He made a call on this month, yeah.
Okay. So we're ending today's Bible reading with Proverbs chapter 14, verses 32 and 33. When calamity comes, the wicked are brought down, but even in death the righteous seek refuge in God. It's so sad because a lot of people, not everybody, I'm not talking about, every single person, meaning you guys and stuff. I'm just saying a lot of people, and you know it, when everything's going good in their lives, they're just fine and they forget about God because they don't need Him, they think. They forget about Him. But when something bad happens, you got the people who blame God for that, which is not God doing it, it's Satan. And then you got people that when something bad happens, plead to the Lord for help now. Then they remember God and plead for Him to help them. But when things get better, they ignore Him again. It's like He's not even there. That's gotta hurt Him so bad. We're His children. That'd be like Happy Mother's Day to everyone, by the way. Layla, Happy Mother's Day. Aunt Dora, if you're watching, Happy Mother's Day. What was I saying? See, my short-term memory is horrible. What was I talking about? You not listening to me? Let me read this proverb. Yeah. When something bad happens in their life, you've got those people who, ask God for help then. And then when something good, when their life's better again, it's like you don't exist. And I was saying, what your children do, how would you feel if, when your child's grown up or whatever, let's say they're 17, 18, leaving the house or whatever, and they call you and say, Mom or Dad, they're in trouble, and ask you for help or ask you for something they need, and you're able to help them, and you do. But they never call you, they never come around to see you, they never send you a letter or a card. The only time they come to see you or call you or write to you is when they need something from you. I got people who do that to me. I'm not a mom, but I've had people do that to me, and it really, really hurts my feelings. I just had it happen the other day, and it really breaks my heart. So I know you guys who have kids, if they do that, how much that would hurt some mothers. That's how it hurts God even more, because we're all His children. And imagine how many children He has out here that's doing that very same thing to Him. It's very sad. God just sits there and waits for them, for you guys, for everybody. He just sits there and waits for us to talk to Him. We're His children. He's our Father. He wants to hear from His children. He wants us to be heirs with Jesus to the kingdom of heaven. If we're His children, the Bible says we, brothers and sisters, will be heirs to the kingdom of heaven along with Jesus. Because we are God's children, His prince and princesses. So if you're saved and or baptized, hold your head high. If somebody's messing with you, ignore them. I know it's hard, but ignore them. Don't punch them or anything. Ignore them. And hold your head high and remember, like you got a crown on your head, thinking, I know who I am. I'm the daughter or son of the King. The real King. The biggest King. You know there's been kings in this world. Well, God is even more of a bigger king than that. And Jesus as well. And, you know, you're their prince or princess. You're God's child. Hold your head high, because His word is the only one that matters. Jesus and God's the only people you have to worry about. Everybody on this earth, it does not care what they say. If this whole world turns against you and says you're a horrible person, if they put you in jail for something you didn't do and all that, you're so cruel to you, still, I know it's very, very hard when you're living in this world and that happens to you, but try to be very strong in your faith and try to ignore what they're saying and think, it don't matter what they say about me or do to me, because God knows the truth and He knows me. And they will get theirs in the end. They will all have to answer for what they've done to God, as we will, both the good and the bad. And when somebody does something bad to you because of Jesus, like you're trying to spread the word of Jesus and someone is making fun of you or hurt you in some way, that's going to be a lot worse for them and better for you. Even better for you. Because they did it because Jesus. And He says that in the Bible. That if someone hurts you because of His name, it'll be even better for you and worse for them. So remember that. God and Jesus and God are always watching and always there with you. Talk to them. I do every day. I couldn't get through a day without doing it. The more you get to know about Jesus and God, you really feel like you're their family. Jesus is your brother and best friend, and God is your loving Father. And He's got a funny side too. He's always been messing with me. I have my keys right here on the stand beside me. They were gone. Couldn't find them anywhere. I looked over this whole stand, everywhere. And then a little bit later, they was laying right here on the stand. But I had already checked and there was nothing right there. Right there in plain sight on the stand. He likes to play tricks on me all the time. Does he do that to you guys? He's got a sense of humor. Trust me. Where do you think we get it from? I love a good sense of humor. Not being mean to people, sense of humor, but just, funny. little things like that. Not people joking around being mean to people and stuff. I don't like that at all. And God doesn't either. But he's a loving, compassionate, and even funny God. That's where we get it from. I mean, you can't live without having a little humor, right? Or you'll just be an old grump all the time. Alright, let me read this last proverb. I forgot to get the book out. I'll get it out in a second. Wisdom reposes in the heart of the discerning, and even among fools she lets herself be known. Alright guys, that was the Bible reading. I got this board out here. I'm trying not to... My dry erase board, I've already wrote on it for the Bible lesson. I'm trying to set it here where it won't get smeared and taken off so I can get the book out for you. With our prayer requests in it. Alright. I'm trying to think if my aunt or my mom, or I heard in the paper or whatever, about somebody else needs prayer. But I don't think so yet, which is a very good thing. Because if you're asking for prayer, it usually means something's wrong with them, you know. So I'm really happy. You hear that ding? It pops up on here and tells me what it says on Facebook sometimes, and it just popped up from Dad. I know it's him writing now, and because other people get on his account sometimes, but it's Dad, because he always like calls me honey and stuff. Anyway, I sent him a picture, Layla, of my brother's grave that we decorated, and Dad just wrote back and said, what did he say? I think he said, "It looks great, honey. I love you." I just read it. This popped up here. I got lilacs they put in the front for me, which are my favorite flower. I love lilacs, and I love the smell. Have you ever smelled lilacs, Layla? Do you like lilacs? Do you guys have them there? See, I'm dumb about this stuff. I don't know what you guys have that we have and what you don't, you know. So I apologize if I'm asking stupid questions, but I just don't know. Do you guys have lilacs over there? They smell so beautiful. I love them. And of course I got 4 bouquets of red, white, and blue flowers. I think they were poppies. They look like poppies. You know, these are artificial flowers, by the way. And I thought I got red, white, and blue of another one, but the red came up missing. I don't know if I forgot it or I can't find it nowhere, so I think I might have forgot to buy another red one. I'm not sure. I don't know how I would have done that, but then we had a blue and white bunch. Sure, stuff on there for me. And Mom told me today, which is not a very good idea, but she's got paint now, and she said one day she's going to go over there and paint the angel, which I was very happy because I always took care of his grave and painted the angel and stuff, because you know with the weather and stuff it fades. It's concreted to the ground. It's a little angel praying that Mom and Dad had put on there when my brother's grave. He was only 3 days old, and Mom, I said, how are you going to do that? Because her knee's really bad in her leg, remember? She's already had surgery on one of her knees, and now the other one's really bad and hurting. I said, you're not going to be able to get down there on the ground and get back up. I said, I'll do it. I'll get on the ground. I might not get back up, but she's like, no. Because I was going to take a can of spray paint, get a can of spray paint, either gold or silver. I think Mom told me to do gold, and I was going to spray it. I was going to do that, you know, when we went to Mom's before, but we didn't have time when she called me. I said, always let me know a day ahead of time when you want us to come over. But they called that day and wanted us to come today because her computer was down, and she don't know how to fix it, which we got it fixed, by the way, about 5-10 minutes to fix it. And so I didn't have time to go to the store and get spray paint. Because out, you know, Walmart and stuff, it's in another town close to us. For Mom, probably about 15-20 minutes. For us, probably 25 minutes to 30 minutes to get there. But Mom wanted to go there anyway, so she's planning on painting the angel. I'm very happy it's going to be painted, but I'm scared for her to do it, you know? Because she always hurts. And she's already got skin cancer on her face. They haven't called her for an appointment yet with the surgeon to get it all out because they're busy. Which I don't like because it, you know, it gets bigger. They need to get it off of her. So please pray for my mom. That if she's able to do the angel, that she'll do it with no pain and stuff. I wished I could be there with her to help. Sure would take me.
Where?
To the cemetery when Mom goes to paint that angel. So I can help.
We'll paint that.
Huh?
We'll paint that.
Yeah, because I don't want Mom to get on the ground. You know she's got those bad knee and leg.
I'm gonna paint it.
When?
Just give me the gate paint.
Mom's got to paint at her house. I'd have to go there and probably pick her up and go to the cemetery. You know?
Well, why her own paint? They do it there.
Why? She borrowed Mindy's. And she's got a whole container of paint. She's got the right color she wants it to be. I know they sell the paint that we use over there at the Dollar General for $1. But Mom's already got the paint. I don't know if she got paintbrushes yet or not. But you can buy them over there too. So Sherm said he's going to paint him.
I'll paint it.
You're going to take me over there to do that? And pick up Mom? You're going to do that?
I probably can't do it to suit her, but
I'm not talking about the painting. You're actually going to take me to Mom's and pick her up and take us to the
no,
cemetery?
I'm gonna take you to her house and I'm gonna go paint.
Well, we want to see what it looks like. I don't want you there by yourself.
Why not?
We want to go too.
I'm gonna go do it myself. Something I wanna do.
Something I want to do but you won't let me.
Something I wanna do myself.
Please pray for Sherm. Please pray for Layla and her son Emil. Emil got the unspoken prayer request that was praying for. Remember I said, please pray for Emil for an unspoken prayer request that God knows. And it's for a good thing to happen in his life. Well, it happened. We're so thrilled for him. So please pray it continues to go great for him and for Layla. Please pray for Elizabeth Jeffries. I have not heard back from her in a while. But I think she said her leg was healed, by the way. I keep her on here, though, because she's in her 80s, you know, and she don't get around very good. And she does stuff for everybody around here. She's in charge of, around here we usually, not everybody participates, but we usually send Christmas cards to each other, you know, through our doors and stuff. And Elizabeth always gives, when somebody moves in, she goes and gets their name and their anniversary and their birthdays and all that information. And then on their anniversary or birthday, she always would usually hang up a card down in the lobby for everybody to sign. But now, since the COVID virus, she's just putting from all your friends at Benton Manor. That's where we live. And she puts them down here. She can barely get around. I said, Elizabeth, if I knew that, if I had that list and stuff, I could do that for you now. So you didn't have to. I would love to do it, you know. It wouldn't be a bother to me at all, I told her. I said, I'd love it. But I think as long as she's going, she's going to do it herself. And I really don't like her having to do that, because there's 40 apartments here. Not every single one is usually filled, but there's a lot for her to go up and down, you know, and do all that walking. Because she told me last time I talked to her that she could barely walk. So I wish she had let me help her. So please pray for her. It's not a bother at all. I'm going to tell her again. Please pray for Judy Thompson, Granny Judy. We call her Granny Judy. She's not our real grandma, but we call her Granny Judy. We loved her. She used to live here. But anyway, she will be having stomach surgeries this month. Jimmy Myers. Jimmy will be having, he goes to get a COVID test either tomorrow or the next day, because they do that here now before you have surgery or colonoscopy, anything like that. You have to get tested for COVID. He's not sick or anything like that, but he has his surgery on May 13th. He kept asking us if we was going to be there. And it made me so sad because Mom said that only one person is allowed to go in there. Nobody's even allowed to sit in the waiting room except that one person because of COVID, you know. So everybody would just have to sit outside in their vehicles. And I told him, if I was allowed to come in, you know I would be there, Jimmy. And I said, I got people praying for you and stuff. He's really hoping that Abby will be there. I'm going to try to get her to go, but I don't know if she will because they're fighting, which really, really breaks my heart. I know Jimmy's so sorry. And he told her that too, that he was. But she's still mad. And I know he really misses her because he'll talk about it, you know, sometimes. Why won't Ab talk to me? Or you think Ab's going to be there when I have surgery? He always wants to be with her. They have a great relationship because they've been through a lot together, trust me. A lot of bad stuff together they've been through. All they had was each other. And they had a wonderful relationship. And I hope to God she forgives him soon. And it gets back to that. Her and Matthew both. Please pray for Cindy Welsh, Dora Carper. Since it's Mother's Day, please pray for my Aunt Dora because she only had one child, Lisa, my cousin, and she passed away years ago in her early 30s. Beautiful, beautiful Lisa. You know, she had perfect body, perfect face, hair, everything. She had a great, great job. Her life was going good. She just got, you know, married to a new man, and he had a little kid, and that was like her son because she didn't have any kids. And then she got cancer. And you know, once you have it, you know, and they say you're in remission, you don't got it anymore, it always comes back. Every single person I know that's had cancer, it always comes back. Always. But she died. Lisa died. And that was her only child, so I know it's going to be really hard for her on Mother's Day and, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all the holidays, because her child's not there anymore. It's sad. Very sad. I wish God would have took me instead of her, because she had a good life going, you know, and so much to look forward to. She having a great job and everything. She could do more for the world than I could, you know. What can I do? I just have to sit here and not move around. When I do, it has to be in a wheelchair, you know. Can't never go out. I don't really have a life. Okay, please pray for Joyce Light, Latham Burns, Abby Myers. Please, please pray for her to forgive Jimmy soon and their life get back to the way it was. Her and Matthew. Donna Dunlap and family. I know Mother's Day is probably hard on her today too, because remember she's the one where her adult son hung himself in his garage. Suicide and died not too long ago. That was her oldest son. And her husband, Donna's husband, is a preacher. He's the one that actually married Sherman and I. And he's got some kind of disease now, Veneer's disease, which is getting worse. It's really sad. Please pray for Garnet Boyer and Jim Mitchell. I'm afraid something's wrong with Garnet. She's losing a lot of weight, and it looks like it's getting harder for her to walk. She's had, I don't know, she's got diabetes and everything. Please pray for her. Please pray for Ramona Henry, Jan, Jeannie Burns. She's really upset because she wants to go back to work right now, but her heart doctor will not let her. You know, she just had a heart attack not too long ago. She's young. I believe she's younger than Sherman and I. We've got two young children. She don't need to, you know, rush around and do stuff. So I'm actually glad her doctor's not letting her right now.